Video games throughout the years have evolved from 2D, 8-bit trivial entertainment to astonishing visuals that tells a story, all while being interactive. As technology progressed, graphics allowed developers more detail in their work, presenting more realistic experience to players. This improvement in depiction made any act of violence in a game more graphic. This shift from a mere group of red pixels that represented blood to a red spewing liquid marked the beginning of a more realistic portrayal of video game violence. The fact that these games are violent, have gory scenes, and allow criminal behavior make them perfect scapegoats for events leading to violent teen behavior. This misguided assumption may be an easy solution to finding the origins of unprovoked violence, but is not necessarily the real cause. Local college students discuss if violence in a game can affect the way a player interacts in the real world.
I mean, that just is up to the individual. I mean, if the individual is vulnerable and he has a susceptible mind to like certain ideas and he believes everything he sees in a video game, or he's just not very mature, that's going to affect him negatively. Obviously, if he has no other direction and is lacking a positive direction. So a person, again, on the other hand, on the flip side of that, a person is mature and has a solid mind and knows reality from actuality. I mean, it won't affect him at all. It's just a video game, a form of entertainment.
I think anything in a video game affects how an individual acts in the real world. Violence is not a part of it. The overall mentality, the wordplay, the storyline, all that affects it. But violence doesn't make an individual child violent. It's the child's mindset. It's the way they're raised.
Because my little brother plays games and he doesn't like go around trying to shoot us. He plays like Halo and stuff and he's not. I don't think it affects him.
Josh Danks is a gamer and has been gaming for many years. He reflects on how violent video games have affected him and if they have made him a violent person.
When I was a young kid, I was a very outwardly violent person. In elementary school, all the way up until about 6th grade, I always got into a lot of fist fights. About 6th grade, I started investing in consoles, the Sega Genesis, Sega Saturn. I started going on to the Nintendo 64 and such. I started playing video games. I started playing a lot of fighting games, and the amount of fistfights I got into school had been taken down because I was able to focus my aggression into the game and be able to vent into that instead of into somebody else, which actually made me a more productive person in society. And even today, I play a lot of fighting games. I play a lot of what people consider violent video games, such as Final Fantasy series and everything, where you go around slaying people. But I'm not violent. I've actually calmed down a lot since I started playing video games.
All video games are not accessible to ages of all kind and are rated accordingly through the ESRB. This system allows software to be categorized according to appropriate age range. Such games that are rated M for mature are not allowed to be sold to minors. This prevents and does not encourage violence to be exposed to children. Not all games are violent and sometimes promote creativity. A proper example would be the video game Little Big Planet 2. The title allows a user to customize your Sackboy and encourages players to create levels for others to play and enjoy. Another issue video games face is that they are linked to unhealthy living habits. They are stereotyped as an unhealthy hobby and are blamed for physically unfit people. Can video games have a negative side effect on a user's health?
I mean, well, it depends to the extent of which you play. Like, if you're sitting there like all day, it's not going to help any. But if it's just casual gaming, it's not bad. People sit down and watch TV for hours.
It depends on how variation of the video games for the user are going to be incorporated into their lives. I mean, if they're going to be using their video games constantly, no break times, and they're going to adapt whatever schedule they have to themselves, of course, kind of have a negative aspect on them, which is they just have to use that in moderation.
To an extent, no. The video games themselves aren't detrimental to the individual's health. I think that excessive amounts of gameplay becomes detrimental, and that just because of parents' lack of ability to get their kids motivated to get outside.